For some reason, I am a person that attracts weirdos. I am really cute, or so I've been told, and very nice to people. I'm also awkward in an adorable type of way. Unfortunately, despite all of those qualities, the crazies are always drawn to me. This story is not so much scary as it is creepy. I just want people to be aware of their surroundings and be careful judging a book by its cover. Actually, my day started off normal enough. My normal weekend routine went according to plan. Only this day I met a seemingly nice guy who really seemed to have everything going for him. It was a Saturday afternoon and I was jogging in the park in my neighborhood. As I came across the bend of the street that neared my house, there he stood, this gorgeous man. He looked like he had just stepped out of a GQ magazine, nice suit and tie, dressed to the nines. He smiled and said hi to me, and then proceeded to tell me how cute I was and asked for my number. Honestly, I was shocked that such a hot guy would be interested in me. I was in my yoga tank and shorts, hair tied back, no makeup, sweaty from the jog, etc. But no alarm bells went off. Yet. Anyway, I obliged, gave him my number, and got his, then went on my way. Within a few seconds of getting into my doorway, my phone went off. It was him texting. I found it odd that he would be texting so quickly, but, I just brushed it off as nerves maybe and sent emojis back. I thought nothing else of it for the rest of the day. I turned my cell phone off and proceeded to take a nap. This is when another alarm should have gone off in my head, but I let it slide yet again. When I turned on my cell phone after I woke up, there were countless texts, calls, and voice messages from this guy asking why I didn't answer his texts and calls. I found this very strange to be hounding someone you just met hours earlier as if, the two of you are already in a relationship. So I called him and told him if he didn't chill out, he should just lose my number. He apologized and said it would never happen again. He then proceeded to ask me out on a date. I accepted, thinking what harm could come of going out for dinner and getting to know one another. Fast forward to date night, I find out a lot about him, like his prestigious educational background and his family's social standing. Let's just say they're a very prominent group of people. I was intrigued, and everything seemed to be going fine, that is, until he started mumbling to himself. At first I thought it was just me overthinking things, but when he started to answer his own questions, I got freaked out. While he continued to mumble to himself, I interjected, "Hey, is there anything you'd like to talk about?" He replied firmly, "No." Well, at this moment, I knew this would be our first and last date, and I suddenly understood why a handsome man from a well-to-do family was still single. It was clear that he has mental issues that need to be addressed by a mental health care professional. It was also clear to me that I would not be seeing him again for any more dates. For some reason, I really can't pinpoint how, but it seemed clear to him as well. So we ate our dinner as the rest of the date went on in complete silence, and we went our separate ways, or so I thought. A couple weeks went by and I was relieved that he had not contacted me, and I was thinking it was very obvious that the first date was horrible and unnerving and that we'd never see each other again. I mean, I wasn't ghosting, but there was really nothing further to discuss. At this point, there wasn't going to be any more dates or any more interaction for that matter. Boy, was I wrong. A couple Saturdays later, I was on my usual jog path, and guess who else was there? This time, in workout gear, smiling from ear to ear, running towards me. None other than Prince Charming himself. I was mortified. "Hey, you!" he exclaimed with excitement. "Oh, hi. How are you?" I answered uneasily. He replied, "Okay, just thinking about you and our future together." I was at a loss for words at this point, and then it dawned on me that if I didn't make my point clear that I wasn't interested in him, then this sort of thing will continue to go on because he is not catching the non-communication hint. So I said, "Look, you're a nice guy, but I don't think you're the guy for me. So I wish you the best in life. Good luck." Well, he said he understood and kept on with his run as I proceeded to head home. I truly thought that was the end of it, but after another week passed, he began sending me text messages again, manically back to back, begging and pleading for another date, because he knew I was the one, and how his family wanted him to settle down and get married soon. How he would surely die without me. I didn't answer. I just blocked his number. I was just over the nonsense. The next week, my family went on our annual camping trip. This is when the crap got real. He starts calling me from random numbers saying he knows where I am and he was watching me. Initially, I shrugged it off, but when he told me what state my family and I were camping in, I freaked the hell out because I hadn't told him any of this. He proceeded to tell me how anything could happen to me or my family because of how powerful or connected his family was and how they make people disappear. I told him to F off and leave me alone, but to no avail. The harassment continued off and on for another month. During that time, whenever I would leave the house to go to work, run errands, or just get out, I would notice his car parked across the street from my house, watching me. I never told him where I lived. We had only been on one date, for God's sake. I was in a lot of distress, barely sleeping, because every little sound I would hear in the night, I would think it was him trying to break into my house. I tried to remain vigilant and undaunted in his presence because I didn't want him to think I was afraid of him and his antics. He knew everything about me, things we had never discussed, and continued to threaten bodily harm if he didn't get his way. I stayed steadfast, but finally decided to tell my best friend, who is in the military and works in law enforcement, about the whole ordeal, just to get some insight on my legal options and to see if I could get help. My best friend asked for his name, but I had only remembered his first name. I totally forgot his last name. The stress of it all had taken a toll. So he traced him by his phone numbers, many of which were registered to him or his close family members. I don't know what my best friend did or said, but I haven't had any more of these terrifying ordeals happen. I am grateful he didn't follow through with his threats to harm me. I learned my lesson. Just because someone is drop dead gorgeous doesn't mean they can't be